Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much for taking the time to tell us a bit about your journey with Sales Playbook. We got to know each other at a Startup at High Scale workshop, which was organized by Josh. And now you basically redid your website quite a bit, closed some new customers, just coming up with a large project. Could you tell us a bit more how it all started?
Yes. Well, I think last year was a COVID year, challenging year. But ultimately, I'd known for some time that I needed to professionalize some of my sales processes. I've been a reasonably experienced business developer over the years, but at the same time, I know that the field is evolving so much, and I felt like I needed, an expert who was completely on his game to really make sure that I was doing things correctly.
Yeah, interesting also that you have this like long-standing experience in business development in a larger company setup, but now you founded your own company, starting basically like from zero and ramping it up to like six, potentially then seven-digit revenue. What
Yes.
what was the key decision point for you to collaborate with us and not like an established traditional sales coach, for example?
Well, I like the fact that you have a very specific niche that you focus on. And as I sort of read through the website and the materials, it was very clear that I sat pretty much in the center of your sweet spot. Um, I think the second thing is that this was about equipping us with very practical tools, templates, techniques that you can then run with immediately. I think that appealed very much to where I'm at the moment. And I think from a value for money perspective, for a reasonably small investment, I could see the potential for huge value, not least the how should I say, the accountability that someone like you and your team would bring in a busy founder's life. I think that's one of the perennial challenges we all face. There's a gazillion things we could be doing, and how
Yeah.
do we focus on sales?
Yeah, yeah, true. What really stunned me with you was that you basically joined every single group coaching call basically, and you iterated with like sometimes like two, three times a week. Could you tell us a bit more about that journey regarding the messaging, ideal customer profile, and so on? Also on your website, but I guess also your other sales materials. Like we went through some of these sales decks.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't have any friends. That could be the first reason I was showing up. No, I think first of all, it was a great opportunity to get quick cycle feedback on what I was doing and some course corrections. So being able to share what we're doing and getting feedback, not just from the yourself or the sales expert on the call, but also from other founders, super helpful. And for me, I set up a sort of cadence where because I knew the coaching calls were coming up, I wanted to have some real tangible, practical things to ask. And you kind of need to do some work on learn the new stuff and understand what you know and what you don't know and where you have questions. And so for me, there was a little bit of a cadence around getting on the website, downloading the templates, doing the work, and then using the coaching calls to test, validate, and of course correct.
Yeah, yeah, makes a ton of sense. And how long did that take you to go from basically starting and working with us to completing your website regarding the messaging?
Um, I think we started just before Christmas, so like the week before Christmas, and then by Jan 1, the website was revamped.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Who would you recommend working with us? Because you mentioned this kind of niche and that you felt like
Mm,
it resonated with you. What other type of
mhm,
entrepreneurs could you specifically recommend this
mm,
to?
mhm. So I think one of the challenges, if you have just raised small seed rounds, you haven't sort of raised that bigger seed round, which allows you to bring on professional salespeople. I think if you're sort of in that interim phase where you're trying to raise money, but you need to show good traction, I think that's a perfect company. Um, Anyone that wants to sort of refresh or learn new skills in a very practical way, um, and looking to grow their business. And for those also, as I've referenced, who are super busy, who could do with just some friendly accountability, not in a sort of a school teacher kind of way, but just in a making sure that the time reallocation that you're putting towards sales is on the money. I think founders like that would really benefit.
Yeah, that's a really interesting one because like that's a concern we by nature get from a lot of entrepreneurs in the sense of like, yeah, but I'm short on time. It's like, yes, this is why we created all this, so you actually save time, but don't need more of it. But the stuff you need to get done anyways. So is there anything else you'd like to share about your journey? Good opportunity to promote Experience Accelerator as well. But anything you'd like to pass on your sales learnings?
So I think the focus on the persona. So who are you actually going after, and getting super specific around that, and really forcing yourself to investigate and test the unknowns about that persona. It's easy to write a high level one, but are you really getting to the detail?
Yeah.
I think some of the sales automation, so for busy founders, actually, that sinking feeling where you don't have 2 hours in the day to do that sales activity, but being able to structure it in a way that allows for that's kind of to happen a little bit without you being directly involved. I think that is really good. And I think for just a shout out to you personally, you are generous of spirit with your time over and above what's necessarily needed, and you bring a level of optimism and passion to what you do, and that for me has been very important.
Good stuff. Thanks so much and all the best of success then.
Thanks, Manuel.